I am now going to head into our content section. So this will be a big piece of today's training. So we will talk about how you can go about creating a post from the scheduler, as well as how you can access the shared content and set up email notifications. So just starting off on our scheduler, you see a couple different colors showing. So anything showing in green is letting you know that that is scheduled for the future. So essentially you have it scheduled out and it's ready to go. I also do want to point out this G icon. So I talked about before, you have the ability to schedule content at the group level. So just keeping in mind, if you are a manager of say 2 locations within SOCi, you can also do this at that group level. Schedule one post and have it go to both locations. So I will show that after, but first we're just going to show it at the location level. To the right-hand side, I also have my library sidebar. So this is a great way to access new and used content without having to leave the scheduler. So I do want to mention this is one of our newer enhancements. We're very excited about it. So previously, before you had this sidebar, you would have to go into the library section and find the content that way. But now you can stay on the scheduler. You can hover over, and I should mention first that you can toggle the library at the top. So let's say that you know there's a new library being shared with you. You can choose that from the drop down, and then you can toggle between the new content that you have not posted for your location, or you can also go to used. So let's say that maybe you shared something a couple weeks ago, it performed really well, you got really good response from your audience and you want to send it out again, you can do that from the use tab, or you can also toggle to new. When I hover over, you'll notice that it lets me know that you can drag the post over to quickly schedule it for the future. Also, let's say that you are looking to localize the content. So what I mean by that is let's say that your corporate team is sharing content with you or management, and you want to go into edit, maybe customize. So that pop-up you saw is if anything changes with the link. But let's say that you want to customize this messaging. So when I say you want to localize it, it means maybe you want to address your community, add a more personalized touch. You can always make adjustments to it in the message field, and then you can go ahead and schedule that out. So for now, I will cover this in detail, but I'm going to back out. Let's say that you know you just want to schedule it as is. You can always click on it and drag it over to the date and time. So I'm going to drag it over to the 4th, and I will delete this later on, but just for the purpose of the training. So you'll see how quick and easy it was to take that shared content and add it to my scheduler. And also you'll notice that it appears in green, it's scheduled out. Also from the scheduler, let's say that you are ready to just start posting. You can either click post now or you can choose the day. So let's say that I am looking to schedule my content for March 3rd. I can click on that. It's going to take me to my create message box. So this is where you will come anytime you want to schedule out a post. At the very top, you're going to have your network. So this will show the networks that are linked in SOCi. So we talked about linking before. So let's say for this example, you want to post to Facebook. You can always uncheck Instagram or you can reselect it. Down below in our message field, you'll see that this is a free text field. So let's say that I am going to do a post about the COVID-19 vaccine. I can always type this in. Right now, I'm just kind of copying it over, and I'm also including any hashtags in my message box. So this is just an example, but you can add any messaging that you want, as well as emojis on the right-hand side. And then below that is a series of ways of how you are going to build out this post. So we probably want to get an image added into it. So I'm going to select upload photo, but I do want to mention if you have the SOCi Go app, I will also put that name in the chat box right now. We will talk about that in full detail, but the SOCi Go app, it's free. All you have to do is download through your app store. It's available for iPhone and Android, but that is also a great way. Let's say that you took some new photos of your pharmacy on your mobile device. you can quickly upload it into SOCi. So we'll talk about that in full detail after, but right now, since I'm on my desktop, I can go to upload photo. It's going to give me access to my files. So I'll go to the desktop. I'll go to my GNP folder and I'm going to pull in the image that I saved there. And now you'll see it's pulling into my post. So you do have the ability within SOCi to pull in photos saved from your files or from your mobile device as well. And then you get a preview here. You also have the option of choose an image. So this gives you access to all shared images within SOCi. So here you'll just see some duplicates just because I've been testing it out. Don't worry, that won't show for you. But in general, this gives you access to all images that are being shared with you within SOCi. So you can toggle through the pages. And this is also a quick way to be able to pull in and build out your post without having to search through your files. Also, we have the option of shorten URLs. So I'm sure many of you have noticed sometimes in a post, when you include a link, it can be extremely long and lengthy. So what you can do is copy and paste it here. SOCi will give you a shorter URL to include in your post that will be a little more eye-catching and user-friendly. Also, let's say that you have a video you are looking to upload, same thing that I showed before, it will give you access to your files and you can pull in that video for posting. I do want to bring your attention to choose a message. So this by far is one of our biggest time savers. So by selecting choose a message, this gives me access to all of my shared library content. So this is a great way. I mentioned that you build up your libraries with content. So whether that's coming, say, from your management team or just shared content in general, we also recommend that you add your own content. So I will cover how to do that shortly, but this is a great way to show how quickly you can pull it into the post. So I'm going to go into a tile format, and here you can see all the different content that I have access to. So this is a great way as you are getting more up and running with the SOCi platform. You can access this shared content. You can start previewing it as well as scheduling it out. So you don't have to say create every post on the fly. You have a lot of it built in your library sections. The last option is create with Canva. So just to mention, if anyone does use the Canva platform, that is a great way to just add, say, text on your images, as well as you can add logos, icons, and really just enhance the content that you are pulling in. Just a quick note on that, it is free. You just have to register with email. Below that is our internal tagging system. So a good tag for this would be COVID-19. So what this means, this is separate from hashtags. So keep in mind, any hashtags you include, you want to put in your message box. The tagging field below is for sorting within your library section. So let's say you head into the library, you are looking for any COVID-19 content, you can search by this tag. So it's very helpful. I'll talk more about that in the library section. At the bottom, you can either post now or you can schedule for the future. So let's say you want to post now. You can choose the post now option, or you can also schedule for the future. So you can check off schedule, select your date and time. And the next thing we have is our time randomizer. So what this allows you to do is add more variety to the posting time. So here, so let's say, for example, I am scheduling out content for 10 a.m., but I am scheduling out all my content a month ahead of time. So I would want to use my time randomizer to add more variety so I am not posting at the same time every day. So let's say that you do post at the same time. That is going to come off more automated to your fans and customers. So by using that time randomizer as an example, plus or minus 30 minutes, this is saying that this post can go out anywhere between 9:30 and 10:30 in the morning. Also, all the way to the right-hand side, we do have the option of peak time. So I talked about peak time before and how SOCi will track that for your audience. If you do want to post according to the peak time, you have that option on the right. The last thing I want to mention is contests. So you have the ability to run a contest within SOCi. So in general, contests are a great way to increase overall interaction and engagement with your posts. So we do get questions a lot about how different locations can increase their amount of comments and likes. So contests are a great way to do this. So just an example of how you would go about this, you would check off this is a contest. You would select the end date and time, and then SOCi is going to choose a winner for you. So your options are most like comment or random commenter. So let's say you want a random commenter to win. SOCi, once you hit that end date and time, they will select the winner and we will alert you in your notification section. So I will show that shortly, but just to run through an example of a contest. So let's say in the message box field, you do want to let everyone know that you are running a contest. So you can do something like this. Hi, everyone. We're running a contest for the month of February. Here's the rules and here's the prize. So the prize could be, say, a small discount or a small giveaway. And then the rules could be one, like this post, two, comment on it, and three, say, share your favorite photo of um, anything really. So you can add your creativity to it, but that is a great way to not only get people liking your post, also commenting on it and even maybe sharing a photo. So that is when you do want to run a contest. So I will go ahead, we'll unselect Instagram for this, and I will go ahead and schedule it out. So here you'll see it added to my scheduler in green for March 3rd. Next, I'm going to hop into our Queue tab. So this is a pretty quick tab. This is just a scrolling view of all your upcoming posts. So I want to direct your attention to edit and delete. So if you have something on your scheduler, let's say you need to make a change or remove it altogether, you have that option here. Same thing with our Publish tab. This is pretty much the opposite of the Queue tab. This is a scrolling view of all your posts that have already published to your network. So let's say I want to go to my Instagram posts. I want to check on things like likes and comments. I can check on my post performance within SOCi. Next, I am going to head into our library section. So I talked about many times how you can access shared content within the library in SOCi. So here you'll see at the top, you have your sorting options. So for example, let's say that a coworker or management team lets you know that there's a new library available to you. You can search by that library name, or let's say that you come into SOCi, you're really not sure what is being shared with you, you can also just come through and sort through everything that you have access to. I do want to point out on the front end, you'll see that our tags are showing. So I talked about the importance of tagging the content. So this is a great way to be able to see what type of content is in the library. Let's say that you don't tag the content, you would have to click into each library through the name to be able to see what type of content is in each one. So these tags really do help identify what types of content are in there. Also, I mentioned the importance of adding your own localized content. So just a reminder, when I talk about localized, I'm referring to addressing your community, just adding a more personalized touch to that content. Also, you're going to have pictures that you take, say, of your pharmacy. So you can always go to Create Library. Just as an example, let's say that you want to set up a library for February contests. You can set the category of contest as well, and you can choose who you share the library with. So that is just if you go ahead and create your own library, you can choose if you have access or maybe others. So just make sure you click create at the end. But when you do find a library you know you want to go into, so let's say you find your COVID-19 library, you know you're looking for content on that, just click on the name. You can always change your view in the top left-hand corner. So again, the library section is meant to access any shared content, whether it's being shared by your team members, maybe just content that you're adding, or also from your management team. You can change your view to a tile format to be able to see more of that shared content in one glance. So let's say that you are going through the content, you know you want to take action on it, but you also, let's say that you want to do it from the library section. You have a couple icons available. So anytime you see an icon in SOCi and you're not sure what it's used for, all you have to do is hover over it. So your options in the library section are to download. So let's say that someone shares something with you, you want to use it, but you also want to download it out of SOCi, you have that ability. You can also select move. So let's say with this piece of content, I know that I want to duplicate it. So what that means, maybe I want to address my community, add some personalized messaging to it. So what I can do is select my own library. Also, you're retaining a copy in the original library. So with this example, I'm making 2 copies, leaving one in the shared library for everyone, and also moving one to my own library. And that way I can customize the messaging, address my community, and maybe share local news and so on. So for that, just make sure you click transfer. And then the last option you have is the scheduler. So previously I showed you how you can schedule from the scheduler itself. You can also do that from the library section. So here you'll see it's pulling in that content. If there is a message associated to it, it will also appear here. So you can go ahead. You'll see the tags are pulling in. You can either post now or you can schedule for the future. Next, I'm just going to hop into our images tab. This is a pretty quick tab. And again, I mentioned you'll see some duplicates just because I was testing, but this in general is where you can access all shared images with you. So you can toggle through the different pages. The main difference between the images versus library is the library houses not only your images and content, but also the messages fully drafted up, where the images section is a scrolling view of all pictures. I do also want to point out all the way to the right-hand side, you can upload your photos into SOCi. So if you are on your desktop or laptop, it'll look a lot like this. Or if you're on your mobile device, as I mentioned before, you can also upload photos from your phone.